Hey, what is up, guys? I hope you enjoy this video that I got coming up for you. Quick few things. This channel that this video is going to appear on is going to be where all of my gameplay stuff, all my stream highlights, all of my long plays are going to be. I know a lot of you really liked Not For Broadcast, me playing it, and really, I am blown away by the fact that so many of you have watched it and have like begged me to do these other episodes. I did the other episodes and I just never uploaded them to YouTube. So here they are. If you're coming from the other channel, please make sure you stay subscribed to the other channel and subscribe to this one. Leave likes and subscribes and all of that stuff. I appreciate you guys for really loving Not For Broadcast, and hopefully you guys will enjoy seeing more. Okay. So, for those who have not joined us before, who do not remember this run, the goal of this one is to see what happens when we listen to authority. When we do whatever advance in Channel 1 want us to do. Basically, we got up to a point where Advance have been instituting so many policies that they have actually now just started a nuclear war. Jeremy Donaldson, in our playthrough, is in prison for sedition, and that's where we're at. So let's go ahead and start with day 371, proportionate response. The rest of your shift passes in a blur, with the same words going around and around in your head. Operatives working for advanced detonated nuclear explosives. Initial estimates put the death toll into the millions. Did this really just happen? You pull into the driveway with no memory of the journey home. The light in the front is on. Clearly someone else is still awake. The door creaks open into the living room and you find Sam sitting on the sofa staring at the TV. Sam, by the way, is your significant other. The screen is off and they're clearly lost in thought. You take a seat beside them and put a reassuring hand on their shoulder. They start at your touch, breaking them out of their stupor. They attempt to smile, but you can see it's strained. Sorry, I didn't hear you come in. I was thinking about... Sam stops, shaking their head. So many people. I can't quite believe it. I know. It's... horrible, but necessary. Sam turns to you, their gaze calm and sure. Advance did what they had to protect us. With the sanctions, the blockades. This was full-scale war. We won. It was us or them. They'd have forced us all to starve if Advance hadn't stepped in. Or there had to be another way. Killing millions of people is never the answer. Bootlicker run. It was us or them, guys. We're bootlickers. Taste the leather. We're lucky to have Advance. Hopefully the rest of the world will realize now that we won't back down from doing what's right. It's the only language those people understand. Sam smiles at you. No one wanted this. But it's not like there was a choice. Oh, stream looking okay? Alright, looks like we're doing okay. The two of you settle down for the evening, splitting more than one bottle of wine and chatting into the early hours. You're grateful to have these nights together. Alright. Damn. Are we going... We're going almost a year. A friendly neighborhood. You've been up a few... There have been a few ups and downs over the last year, but it's nice to be able to enjoy the last summer sun in the garden with Sam beside you. You're just getting into a climactic part in the book you're reading, where Detective Cassis is about to enter the serial killer's lair when you hear sirens coming down the front of the house. You exchange a look with Sam and the two of you head round to the front. Like my boots. God damn it, zombie. You arrive to see a couple of patrol cars and a betterment vehicle parked outside of your neighbor's house. I'm glad they're getting the help they need, you hear from beside you. Sam standing there smiling with arms crossed. They never understood how the new future is making things better for everyone, but they will now. Did you report the Andersons to the cohesion office? Of course. Jonah has been complaining about Advance since they got in, and I'm pretty sure I heard George on the phone planning to go to the Disrupt meeting when we had them over for dinner last week. He watches Jonah and George are both escorted, though not kindly, into the van. Their protests seem to fall on deaf ears. That's right. Get these seditious bastards. Sam raises a quizzical eyebrow and looks at you. It's not like they're being arrested, just taken to one of these centers to educate them as to how Advance are really helping people. They'll be back before you know it. It's certainly true there was no hint of violence or threat of physical force from the CCOs. Still, you're not sure how the pair being taken away will see it. You smile at Sam. You're right. It's for the best. Leather. As the Betterment van pulls away, the CCO locking up George and Jonah's home spots you and Sam. They wave and smile before calling over. Don't worry, nothing serious, won't take long. The pair of you return the wave and head inside. It's good Advance are helping those who need it. All right. An academic exodus. It's seemingly ordinary morning, but as you get into work, you find a small crowd gathered in the break room. When you go in to grab your first cup of tea for the day, you can't help but overhear some excited chatter. You didn't hear? Yeah, another one's gone missing. What's that bring the total up to now? Well, I should think over 100 at this point. They won't all have been reported or noticed yet. Sorry? What's going on today? An excited young woman turns to you and begins to explain. Another professor went missing from Queensview University. With all the other disappearances over the last year, scientists, doctors, researchers... She pauses before lowering her voice to whisper. It's clearly Disrupt targeting the people speaking out against them. I even heard Advance are struggling to prevent further... A deep familiar voice from behind you interrupts. What exactly is going on here? A silence overtakes the room as you all turn in unison towards the doorway. Bozeman clears his voice before continuing. I've told you before, I don't want to hear about these so-called disappearances. Come on now, people. Advance have been very clear that there's nothing to be worried about. Which means they're not our problem. And unless they start classing cappuccinos as intellectual, I don't think anyone here has anything to worry about. Best to get back to work. Bozeman holds up a hand to keep you as everyone else files out of the room. Look, between you and me, this leave it alone malarkey comes from on high. It's out of my hands. So I would appreciate it if you would refrain from talking about it further. And make sure the news is in line with that school of thought, yes? He gives you a pat on the arm and smile before leaving to carry on with whatever it is he does during the workday. It seems that for better or worse, public ownership is now in full swing. Damn, we are skipping a career in the making. We are skipping real far ahead. You drum your fingers on the steering wheel impatiently as you wait for Charlie again. It's great he's enjoying the Cohesion Cadets, and it is so enthusiastic, but does he really need to stay behind every week to help? It's your Saturday evening too, after all. Finally, you see him exit the hall with a grin on his face. You can't help but smile back, the frustration starting to fade as you see him so genuinely happy. After hugging his friends goodbye, Charlie heads over to the car and gets in, his face flushed with excitement. So, how was... You're interrupted as he can't contain himself any longer. Guess what? What? You play along with a smile. So obviously, the Cohesion Cadets are is a starting point for becoming a CCO, so we get a head start when applying for that. Charlie gushes, clearly keen on explaining his news, almost tripping over the words in his efforts to tell you. Well, apparently from the next year, the top 5% of cadets will be taken into special program to become CCMs, Community Cohesion Managers. And guess who's gonna be in it? He beams at you. It's great news. That's great news, Charlie. We're so proud of you. With a grin from ear to ear, he sits back in his seat. Yeah, I'm so glad I joined. I can't wait to tell everyone. You chuckle. I think a celebration is order. How about we pick up some takeaway on the way home? Yes, Soko. And the rest of the car ride is spent with Charlie listing every takeaway he can think of. It's great to see him doing so well. Our little communist in the making. After coming down the stairs to grab breakfast in peace, the peace and quiet tells you the rest of the family must be asleep. You decide to eat in the living room and watch some TV while you can before someone else monopolizes it. This is breaking news. Reports are coming in from across the country that large swaths of the farmland went up in flames last night as part of what authorities are calling heinous and well-planned acts of terrorism by the group known as Disrupt. You drop your spoon back into the porridge and turn up the volume. In addition to food stores, which the government sources have said will put strain on universal menu centers countrywide, a number of CCO and civic buildings were targeted in last night's attack. According to Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, specific prisons and re-education and betterment facilities were raided, and a small selection of problematic and potentially dangerous individuals were forcibly extracted from lawful custody. You hold your breath waiting to hear if anyone got hurt. Fortunately, the CCOs were well prepared for an event like this, and Disrupt appeared to be disorganized in comparison. While there were limited number of fatalities, these were entirely comprised of Disrupt terrorists, with only 3 CCOs reported injured in the various conflicts across the country. A significant amount of Disrupt activities were activists were arrested and incarcerated, awaiting transfer to a betterment center. More on the story as it develops. Turn off the TV. You're interrupted by Charlie walking into the living room, bleary-eyed with a piece of toast. Anything interesting going on? He gestures to the TV. Mutely, you leave the news on as they cycle through the story again. Charlie watches in a hushed silence. By the end of the broadcast, they're dubbing it the Night of Fire. Everything's going to be okay, right? Yeah. It's going to be okay, bud. All right. Looks like we're getting into our first broadcast of the episode. Let's see. Day 912, the uprising. Okay. Year and a half since Liberation Night.
Can you hear me? Alex? This is Alan James. The revolution starts tonight, Alex, and to be frank, we need your help. I know you've never been that sympathetic to our cause, but since the bombs, well, you've seen what happened. They have to be stopped, Alex. You know it in your heart, and tonight, well, it might be our very last chance. Play our tape at the second break. It's on your right. And please, when I hack in, let my message reach the people just once, just tonight, before advance can't be stopped.
So what?
Has to do it.
How should I know?
What, you haven't heard from him?
He's a wanted criminal, Colin.
So's my nan, but she never missed her birthday.
Your grandmother's on the run, Colin.
Yeah. Armed robbery, resisting arrest.
Let's do it. I'm curious.
She's right.
I hope he's alright, though. No He's got this far, and your brother was fine. We're going in 10 seconds, everybody. I wonder what they're doing to him. Annoying him, probably. Not probably, definitely. Going in 5, 4, 3. Good evening. This is the National Nightly News, broadcasting across the territories. My name is Megan Wolf. Our top stories tonight. Future legend. It's been 40 days since Disrupt conducted multiple attacks across the territory.
Right.
During the coordinated action, subsequently dubbed the Night of Fire, emergency services were kept busy at the agricultural centres, while a series of covert attacks were carried out freeing political prisoners, including former newsman Jeremy Donaldson. The disgraced former journalist was obviously considered a high-value target by Disrupt, who had often championed him as a possible new voice for their cause. We encourage you to turn yourself into the CCOs, Jeremy, if you can, wherever you are right now. Food, glorious food. With the last of the menu centres opening in territories 5, 8 and 14 today, Advance confirmed that the programme is now in full operation, providing free food for every citizen of the new future.
Okay, let's treat it as good.
Rationing during the 20-week war has
so here we get to select
that is the envy of the
how people are going to perceive these stories.
Promising a healthy, nutritious diet designed to keep all citizens at peak performance, the menu centres used locally sourced produce for that farm-to-plate experience without the need for spreading manure in your tighty whities. Happy talk. Record happiness levels have been reported today across the territories. As more and more former countries join the new future, a survey carried out by scientists at Queensview University reveals a stunning fall in depression, self-harm and suicides, especially in those territories which have historically faced the most unjust of indivisions.
Right, so
Professors Whiff Piffle and Grantley Major said that their rigorous statistical analysis left them in no doubt that things are numerically better for everyone everywhere. So if you think you're feeling down in the dumps tonight, you're empirically wrong. Something's coming. Unsubstantiated rumours here in Territory 1 of armed protests tonight by increasingly desperate Disrupt terrorists. Despite the best efforts by the government, the self-styled resistance movement has continued to carry out a series of ever more extreme attacks. Increasingly unstable Disrupt spokesperson, the conspiracy nut Alan James, has not ceased in his lurid attempts to radicalise the public against Advance. And a few stories we've been following for a while reached their conclusions tonight. Swing low, sweet chariot. The national outbreak of low-hanging testicular syndrome has been finally traced back to the activities of Rimington's Fist.
I don't know what the difference
had at
is.
first seemed like a booming success for Sophia Rimington's pet project has ended uncomfortably for men throughout the territories. A slightly tipsy Sophia, who resigned this morning, commented that the men should stop whinging before driving off so quickly that one photographer's foot and both of his nuts were run over in the kerfuffle after falling out of the bottom of his trousers. A painful end to a difficult reign for the youngest female CEO. Wrong, but not forgotten. The scientific community today remembers the loss of the many celebrated academics who lost their lives in a rash escape from Dante's taint 1 year ago.
Dante's taint.
The costly voyage, led by David Wong, was recklessly hasty, and while a handful of survivors made it home, the casualties were considerable. Among the dead were noted prize-winning marine biologist Ingrid Swarsborg and Horgensvoord and a bunch of other nerds.
Oh
They
my.
will be missed. Man on. Footballer Johnny Handsleeves and his new wife Tiffany Lamour proudly announced today that their little team was 1-0 up at full time, which apparently means that they're having a baby. Once beset by tabloid controversy, Johnny seems to be settling well in his family life, calling this latest news the ultimate golden goal. If a golden goal also peed on you. All that, plus we'll be taking a trip to Dangly Parts for the notice board, as well as getting a sneak peek at the hottest ticket in town. That's all coming up on tonight's National Nightly News.
1. Okay. I'm not gonna let Disrupt take it. We're already gonna give him a message. All right.
But first, 500 days after the loss of a fine leader and a great man, the start of tonight's programme is dedicated to remembering and celebrating the life of Peter Clement. Patrick Bannon is live from Parliament Park, where Julia Salisbury will be breaking ground on what will soon be a memorial garden in Peter's honour. Patrick.
Listening to that old bitch lying through her teeth about missing that poor bastard.
Patrick,
I don't know what I'm going to do.
we're live.
Because I'm not being funny. Things were better with Peter, weren't they?
Patrick.
They were, and I don't mind saying it. They were, because he held her back. But now there's no stopping her.
Hello, Patrick, we're
Of
live.
course, can't say that, can I, Francis? No, not with public ownership. No, with public ownership, you can't say anything these days.
There.
No, she's lost it, mate. She's completely off the rocker. I heard from an aide that... Hello, Megan! You me here live from the what? Megan, you me here live from the what? Oh.
Seems like we've lost some signal there for a moment. Well, we will be going live to that groundbreaking ceremony just as soon as we can get Patrick back. Meanwhile, let me just say, I think the memorial gardens are going to be gorgeous. I've had a sneak peek at the designs, and Alana Marsh has done a fabulous job. Oh, okay, all right. It seems like we have got the signal back. We can now go live to Patrick Bannon in Parliament Park. Patrick.
Thank you, Megan. I'm Patrick Bannon, and we are indeed live here. Apologies for the technical difficulties there, but any moment now, Julia Salisbury will step out on stage behind me.
Alex, Bozeman here. The boys in editing have just informed me that the eulogy footage isn't fully cut together yet. You're going to have to do it on the fly. For goodness sake, make sure you make him look good.
Slowly gathering since this afternoon.
This is Alan. You can undermine them here and help us win hearts and minds.
Oh, sorry, Alan.
Bad, Alex. Really bad.
And it seems like the ceremony is getting underway. Here is Prime Minister Julia Salisbury, the picture of elegance, to begin her address.
Good evening, fellow teammates and friends.
All right.
500 days ago, all of our lives changed irrevocably.
Okay.
Still reeling
You need to
from
get
the
this on my
triumphs and
new computer for...
tribulations of
Yeah,
Liberation Night,
dude, it's so fun.
Another great loss befell the people of these newly united territories. The loss of a leader, a statesman, a dear friend, and a hero. Peter Gordon Clement.
Peter's death at the age of just 62, of course, announced by the team on the 24th of December, just 6 weeks after Liberation Night.
Okay.
Born to a working-class family on a housing estate in Rotherham, Peter first trained as a carpenter before getting his start on television.
Yep.
First moving and building scenery, and then developing into the personality that we all knew and loved so much.
Just the Job first hit our screens over 25 years ago, running for 11 series, winning multiple awards, and charming audiences up and down the country.
Yep.
Peter taught us,
I don't think I
all
did
of
the
us,
right thing there.
not to be content with the way things are, not to accept inequities, no matter how small. But he also taught us what it took to fight them. Courage, integrity, empathy, and hard, bloody graft.
Across a career spanning 3 decades, Peter Clement is known for shows including Wake Up, It's Saturday, and much later, late-night chat show PT, which at its peak drew millions of viewers.
Peter was by no means a saint. Trust me, he once told me he had more regrets than he'd had stolen dinners. He always did have a knack for a turn of phrase. But it speaks to the strength of his character that he chose to share with us his mistakes alongside his achievements, his faults as well as his talents. Peter had the heart to give it all he had for the people of these united territories.
Famous for his potty mouth, it's estimated conservatively that Peter Clement uttered over 1.5 million swear words during his career, though some sources put this figure well in excess of 2 million F-bombs alone.
Gripped by illness as he was in the weeks and months leading up to Liberation Night, he wasn't the man we loved. But his eyes still twinkled with that familiar joy for life, that spark
Wait, did they
of
kill
wit and
Peter
wisdom
Clement?
of a life lived for others.
Prime Minister Clement, of course, died from apparent liver failure after suffering from the long-term effects of alcohol abuse.
I first met Peter nearly 20 years ago.
Yep. Okay.
Moment before I was supposed to give a speech.
Still
Nothing
doing
like this
good?
one, actually. Only I'd spilt coffee all down myself, and I was young, nervous, desperate to be liked, and from behind me I heard, "Christ, pet, you've either pissed your kecks or sprung a leak, but either way you got a problem." And before I could even say a word, he stripped off his dry trousers and insisted I took them.
Okay.
That was the sort of man that Peter Clement was. Kind, compassionate, sensitive, a brilliant thinker, a natural leader, but mostly a good man.
Good man. That's right, Peter Clement.
This glorious, beautiful and new, this
Okay.
shining beacon.
Maybe you could edit more in our favor next time. Things are about to get started. We have another chance to control the impression the public gets. You'll know when, Alex.
The future he forged, the boundaries he pushed. To me, he'll always be the man in his pants cheering on a stranger at the back of the conference. It is my great honor to give to you the Peter Clement Memorial Garden. Should we see if we can get a countdown going? Everyone with me? 10, 9, 8,
7. Oh.
Now, Alex, control the message.
Safety, come with us.
I'm not leaving, I can't. You two, come with me. Don't panic. No.
Keep it on 3. Keep it on 3.
Here. You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay. You stay. Okay. You two stay with him.
Mom, we have to stay by your side.
I am the Prime Minister, and if I give you an order, you will damn well follow it. Do you understand? Do you understand?
Yes,
Yes,
Mom.
Keep your eyes open.
Look at me. Look at me.
Okay.
Look at me. Stay with me. Help
Make
me.
her look good.
I've got you. I've got you. Just stay with me. No. Stay with me. I need help now. Please, stay with me. Please. Stay with me. Okay, no, press authorization. Centigrade.
You are guilty of the murder of more than 10 million people!
Target armed.
Target armed.
Haven't you done enough? Look around you. This is what your precious freedom looks like, is it?
Oh, shit.
No.
I just showed death on live TV. Fuck. Oh, damn.
Lower your weapons. I said lower your weapons now.
Centigrade authorization was granted. Mom.
Yeah, it's gotten crazy.
Can't you see?
Will you turn that off, please, sir? I said, please turn that off.
Shocking scenes from the capital there exclusively on the National Nightly News, and our apologies to any of our viewers who might have found this evening's events upsetting. But at the National Nightly News, we believe in bringing you the raw, unedited truth as it happens, and we make no apology for that. We'll update you on the latest from this disrupt attack later in the programme, but when we come back, it's time for happier pursuits, and you know what that means by now. Don't go away. We'll be back after this.
Alex, I don't know what else to say. We need your help. I'm begging you.
This is becoming a weekly event.
My name is Katie Brightman.
Can we see?
This is the big
Because you can
one.
hear gunshots in the
Right.
background.
There's a revolution happening outside, and we're off to dangly fucking parts.
That's journalism, apparently. Can we get set for the next sequence? Well, I was wrong. And I'm here tonight to say I'm sorry. And to beg for your forgiveness. My parents are not rich. My mother was a nurse and my father worked in a factory. I was the first member of my family to go to university. But I I always envied my friends who had so much more. Over the years, my jealousy grew. So when Advance came to power, I didn't think about the damage they would do. I acted selfishly.
So I don't know if playing this tape for Disrupt
I didn't see how backwards Advance
is going to be a big deal in our bootlicker run, because I just wanted to see what would happen, but
we should have been helping everyone else to take a seat at their table.
All right, guys, I'm back. Let's resume.
Under Advance, the country is poorer.
Actually, audio. Let's turn the master up just a little bit right now.
It is poorer in ambition. It is poorer in aspiration.
All right.
We are infantilized by Advance's naive policies.
Okay.
Policies born from absurd...
Alex, during this next section, a cameraman working in the newsroom who's one of us is going to get a coded location out. We don't know yet which camera he's on, but if we find out, I'll let you know. Just keep your eyes out for the fist and try and keep it on the air for at least 5 seconds. Our operatives will do the rest.
Our only hope.
Ben, this is your new makeup artist, Craig.
No.
What?
No.
Now lies.
10 seconds, everybody. Sorry, Craig. It's a no. Okay, we are going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News with me, Megan Wolf. Very shortly, we'll be heading on over to the final episode of what has quickly become a hugely successful feature, the notice board. But before we do, let's chat with Philippa Radin. Tell me, why do you think the public love the notice board so much?
It's real. I said it. It connects with people. You know, people look at us and they say, those are real people struggling with real problems.
That's a really interesting point.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying to my PA secretary as I got out the limo, I was saying, it's good for people to see normal, authentic people like them on TV.
People like you.
Yeah, precisely. Unfortunately, then I was interrupted by some dreadful wretch who wanted an autograph, but a swift kicking from security soon put him back in line.
Yes, well, I think it's really good that our screens are filled with such relatable stories. So, the notice board is coming to an end after a sensational time at the top. What do you think has made this show so successful?
It's a combination of so many things.
I love hearing gunshots right outside the window.
My hard work, my talent, my look.
Wow, you really have a lot to thank you for.
Hey. You're welcome.
We've just heard our man's on camera 4.
I have a real sense of responsibility now. A sense I've been entrusted with something precious and that I should use that platform for good.
Yeah, I think that's really important, that we should use this platform to do good in the world. I agree.
That's exactly it. So I've decided to help as many...
You blew that one, Alex. You there? See if you can get a message to...
Better access to education, or reducing child poverty.
No, by adopting as many as I can get my hands on.
Oh, okay. How many children have you adopted?
Oh, we're well into the double figures now, Megan. I stopped counting in the late 30s.
Goodness, that is a lot of children.
Yeah, once we finish putting them into the guest room, I'll have to put a futon in the laundry cupboard.
Oh, you really are some sort of hero.
Hey, I live a privileged life. What can I say? I mean, any child I can take on is a child rescued from suffering.
Oh, children. Were their lives really that bad before?
Oh, they're Northern's, I presume so.
Okay.
Yeah, it's shocking to think, actually, that only 1 in 10,000 children have a celebrity parent.
I'd never thought of it that way before.
And I'm doing everything I can to fix those numbers.
What do you think it is about your life that's so desirable, then?
Well, it's mainly shame and panic interspersed with expensive bottled water, so actually, if anyone wants to, I'd happily trade.
Now that I can relate to. Right, you better go off and get ready. That was Philippa Radin sharing some thoughts about her lifestyle. I think it's really important to stay grounded and keep everything in perspective. Clearly, not everyone else agrees, but that's enough for me. Let's go now over to Dangly Parts for the final ever episode of the notice board.
There we go. The notice board.
a day. First the tea morning, and now to post this notice. I don't know how I managed to cope with it all. Oh wait, perhaps I do. Oh! By St. Barnabas, what on earth is all this?
Freeze, dirtbag!
Oh, Laura, it's you. I thought for a moment you were a knife-wielding mugger or stabber.
No, I'm afraid not. It's just me, a community cohesion officer, responsible for keeping crime at record lows.
Of course. Keep forgetting that thanks to you and your colleagues, violence on our streets is a thing of the past.
What's all this, Vicar?
I know! It's a disgrace. Somebody has defamed...
You might as well try and get the go code out, Alex. Some of the cells know the location. We need 3 boos for the next 3 sound effects. 3 boos in a row. Please. Lives depend on it.
It looks heavy.
Nope, not gonna do it.
They don't call me the Right Reverend. Ripped for no reason. Ripped for no reason.
You missed it.
It's no good.
It looks like all those crucifix classes were a waste of time.
Perhaps you, a young CCO, would be able to use it.
Oh, you're fucking us, Alex.
Looks like all those lifting classes were a waste of time.
It's too heavy, even for me, a strong and capable...
Why won't you help us? We're outnumbered, we're outgunned. What's wrong with you?
Did someone call for the best firefighter in town? Hi-ya!
Well done, Captain Evans. You're so much stronger than us.
Especially me, the weak old man.
It's the least I could do for my community.
Aww.
No luck catching the little devil then?
Unfortunately not. The ferrets struck again last night. When Ray opened the post office this morning, he found that every single
Lick them
stamp
boots,
had
exactly.
been clipped. One.
God! Some people have no decency.
Sadly, if we don't catch him before tomorrow, we may have to cancel the village fete.
Don't worry, we won't let that happen. Will we, Vicar?
No, no, no. Laura, tell me, why do they call him the ferret?
Some say it's because of his sneaky nature. But really it's because whenever he strikes, he always leaves behind the foul stench of urine.
Never fear, officer. We'll catch this pissy nuisance and save the village fete. Or my name's not Captain Danger Evans. The community cohesion team are doing their best, but they simply don't have the smarts to solve this mystery. But I know someone who does. Someone who's about to blow this thing wide open. Me! Blackout!
All right, we're doing good so far.
It's the morning of the village fete, thanks to the theatrical convention.
I sure hope everything goes to plan. Oh, look! There's Mrs. Craven setting up her cake stall.
And look, there's the motorcycle display team setting up for a show that will be far too expensive for live television.
I'm going to set up the coconut shy. What are you doing, Vicar?
First, I'm running the tombola. Then, I'll be selling forgiveness for money.
Aren't you judging the jams?
I couldn't possibly.
Oh, that sounded like Mrs. Craven. Looks like someone sucked all the jam out of her donut.
That damn ferret has struck again.
Whatever are we to do?
Although I'm very competent, I have no idea how to solve this case.
I guess we'll just have to cancel the fete.
Hold it right there, ferret.
Me? Have you
drinking from the fire extinguishers again?
Not you! The vicar!
I don't know what you're talking about.
Admit it. You wanted the village fete cancelled so you could have the day off, didn't you?
I already have to work Sundays. I shouldn't have to work 2 days a week.
But how did you know?
Well, my first clue was the smell.
Yes, I do smell of urine.
Next, I noticed that the vicar's tongue was particularly dry, almost as if he'd been licking thousands and thousands of stamps.
Or perhaps eating Mrs. Craven's baking.
Which brings me on to my third clue. The vicar said that he had no more room for jam.
Almost as if he'd had his fill.
Precisely.
But you managed to figure it all out from that?
Well, I also found this at the scene.
That proves nothing. No!
Get him out of here, officer!
You did it, Captain. You could say you ferreted him out.
Hey, come on. Let's go and have a party in my massive garden. I am doing well.
Thanks to you, we're all doing well.
All right.
That was it, the final ever episode of the Notice Board. And
Okay.
what a way to end it. Thank you as always to Jeff, Philippa and Tommy. After the break, we'll be both dancing and learning. So don't change that channel. We'll be right back.
That's the ads. Well done, everybody.
Wow! What a brilliant run, eh?
This was the break we were hoping you'd play our tape. It would have had the most impact here, but we know you played it earlier, and we appreciate the effort.
Hey, you! Come to the after party?
A lock of hair and a cassette tape of yourself speaking.
No.
Could join the privileged few.
Okay. Hey, we did pretty good. For only having the one warm-up, we are back up to segment grade A. And there's a war raging outside. Yay.
Join today and you can receive a private education, an unbearable sense of entitlement, and your own...
Please, Sarah, anything.
Sorry, Mum, I'm really not supposed to say.
Are we safe?
Hi, I'm Maddie. Jenny just said to ask if you need a touch up.
Did she? That's my shade, is it?
Yeah.
This is my shade?
Oh no, Megan.
Have your secretaries
I'm going back to Jenny now.
housekeeper or have the maid send the boy. You really can't afford the wait.
Sorry about that, Sarah. Nothing you can tell me. At all, like at all.
They said no one's died, that's all I can say.
10 seconds.
What's wrong with you?
She is in tears. Going in 5, 4, 3.
Welcome back to the National Nightly News. Later in this segment, we're hoping to be able to go back to Patrick Bannon at the scene of tonight's shocking Disrupt attack. But first, I'm delighted to be joined by the cast of the smash hit musical everyone is talking about. I'll be speaking with the cast in a moment, but first, let's take a look at them in action. Please give a warm National Nightly welcome to the Novaries.
Hello? Doctor? Yes, I see. Thank you for letting me know. I have a decent life. I'm a happy, loving wife. And my job is well paid and fulfilling. I have a husband, John. He's due home soon, won't be long. And I have to tell him something that is absolutely chilling. We share coffee in the morning, and we make love every day. We take time alone together to talk and laugh and play. We prioritize our needs. We do charitable deeds. But the flowers of a happy life are now beset by weeds.
I'm home.
Oh, darling John.
Oh, dearest John.
There's something very wrong. I've just had a conversation with our doctor, David Wong, so please be seated. This news will make you feel defeated. The scans revealed a lump.
You poor unlucky chump. Is it cancer?
Worse, oh, John. We're having a baby.
How can this be? Oh, woe is me. Why has this happened to me? I always wear 2 condoms for the maximum of
Safety in our tiny flat. We built a peaceful habitat. Now our lives are fucked. We're having a baby. Now you can't have any wine at book club.
And there won't be any time for foot rubs.
Now your hair will stink of weed.
And you'll start to disagree.
And forget about that holiday in Territory 3. No more waking up at 10:30. In fact, you're never going to get a good night's sleep again. No more snap decisions to go on to a club. You'll be lucky if you even make it out to the pub. Why can't we be more like our gay and lesbian chums?
The only glue they have to deal with comes from personal bums.
Now when I take a sick day at home,
The parasite won't leave you alone.
how he's wrong.
We're our top priority.
I look after you, and you look after me. Ain't no trouble and strife. We got a childless life. No one wails and no one walls. No one draws things on the walls.
A happy husband.
A wonderful wife. We got a childless life. We're having a baby. We're having a baby. Changing nappies daily. We're having a baby. No more weekends by the coast. Now your kid is uppermost. It's more than a passing craze to have childless days.
We're having a baby.
Food and drink thrown everywhere. Death trap toys at the top of the stairs. Every parent prays to have childless babies.
We're having a baby.
No more spas and no more We're having a baby. 18 years on bills and leaves. Time for a whole new phase. These
We're having a
childless
baby.
days. One more thing before the show begins. Have you considered that you might be having twins?
All right, there we go. There we go.
Amazing. The Novaries there, treating us to their
Novaries.
opening number from Energy for a Childless Life, which is currently the hottest ticket in the Capital Theatre District. And we'll be touring the territories later this year.
Right then, come on, you guys.
That's one way to look at having a baby, right? Right?
Hello. Hi, Megan. It's an honour to be here.
Oh, really? Are you fans of the show? Yes. Used to be. Well, listen, let's get stuck in. Your amazing musical. Now, I mean, not only do you perform this show every single
How you doing,
night,
P-Cross?
With matinees on Wednesday and Saturday.
right, but you're also the show's creators, am I right?
Well, everyone contributed their ideas, and
Yep.
then some of us went away and did the actual work on the script. But no, it's very much a team effort.
Oh, that's fantastic. How rude of me. I've not introduced any of you. I'll be the one being replaced next. Let's go down the line, shall we?
Hi, I'm Jack.
Jim Blunt. Pleasure to be here.
Jennifer Boram Woodley.
Hello, I'm John Satley. Used to be in the business professionally.
My name's Jill, with a J.
And I'm Janet. I'm the youngest.
That's incredible. And you were all friends previously.
Good. How's the new-ish job
What a
going?
coincidence.
It's going great.
Right? With your names beginning with a J.
Oh my goodness, guys! Our names all begin with J.
How have we never noticed that?
Because you haven't typed them out 1,000 times, maybe? You knew? Why didn't you say anything?
I thought we all knew. It's bloody obvious, isn't it? I just thought we were doing a funny thing where we never mentioned it.
And
I believe as well as being friends, you're also couples. In real life as well as in the show.
Well, not exactly.
I'm not married to him. I'm with Janet.
And I'm with John, you lucky bean.
Jim and I are married.
4 fabulous years.
Well, that must make for some confusion in the rehearsal room.
Well, you should have seen the first draft. Jen decided that Jack would play Jim, I would play Jack. Jen, Janet, Jill, Jen, Janet, Jill.
What about John?
Well, my character was originally just called Man 1.
It was allegorical.
It was very confusing.
Not for a professional.
After much toing and froing.
And gnashing and wailing.
And gin and tonic.
We decided that we'd just use our own names, which is less truthful.
We're also less likely to go into the wrong dressing rooms.
Oh God, yeah, that would be very embarrassing, wouldn't it?
Of course, when I first wrote it, we were only meant to run for a few nights at the Membley Village Hall, but when I registered with the Department for Culture, it caught the eye of someone high up, and before you could say overnight sensation, we were transferring to the capital.
It's all been a bit of a roller coaster, really. I'm only 19. I'm the youngest.
You really don't have to repeat that.
I had to give up my job as a mortuary technician.
Well, yes, we all had to move to the capital.
I love that job.
It's been a very turbulent time.
Yep. So peaceful. No singing. So peaceful.
This piece isn't.
Stand by, Alex. Censor the orange.
It's about children. And why you shouldn't have them.
In a way, I guess it is political, with a small p. After all, we are a solid unit, and eagle-eyed audience members will see we nod our heads to advance on stage throughout, and we target the messaging at women aged 22, well about 35, as they're the most likely to be afflicted by this terrible problem.
Terrible problem.
Having children.
Well, you understand, Megan.
You clearly agree.
Wow, this isn't about me.
Of course, we see that there are advantages to a family unit, but eagle-eyed couples watch as the little parasites advance on their lives, and there's no time to play the guitar, get through a book, or watch a movie. They're exhausted, passed out on the couch by 20 to 9, for God's sake.
Very chatty tonight, dear.
Usually I'm the chatty one. Because
you're the youngest, we know. It's not a badge of honour, Janet.
Janet, please, Jennifer. Oh, well said, John. Thanks, Janet. Got you back.
So could you just tell us what is the play about? What happens in it?
Well,
go ahead.
It's a tragedy, obviously. Jennifer, myself, and John have their child, and then the story charts the downfall of their hopes and dreams.
And there's lots of singing.
And dancing.
A lot.
My character works at a menu centre for a distribution unit. Eagle-eyed, she sees her friend's rapid advance to a pit of despair. Becoming a target for children's TV advertising at the age of 22, she decides to take drastic action. I can't really say more, though. I probably said too much already.
Let's not spoil the second act for anyone who might come to see it.
Which should be all of you. For too long, we've been told that a life without children is somehow incomplete, that children are a blessing. Well, I've done the research, and they're not. Besides, there's already loads of bastards running around all over the place, so...
We just want people to have the option of a happy, child-free life without stigma. You know, when I was 14, before I had come out, I had an experience with a girl called Julia Jacobs. She was an experiment, I guess, you know, a chance to dip my toes into the...
Fascinating. Well, thank you all so much for coming in tonight. I really hope you keep them dancing in the aisles for many performances to come. The Nova is there. And I am pleased to say we can now go back to Patrick Bannon to get the latest from the scene of tonight's horrific events. Patrick, are you okay?
Thank you, Megan. This is Patrick Bannon reporting from the scene of tonight's devastating and symbolic attack tonight this evening. An attack which I myself have been found myself caught up in. I'm still a little dazed and a little deaf, Megan. So I hope you'll forgive me if I seem that it's time to speak with the Prime Minister. Mrs. Salisbury, that's you. You're still here. The Prime Minister.
I couldn't leave, not when there were people that needed help. Any team player would have done the same. I don't deserve praise for being human.
Yes, no accolades here. Or Palisades. Or lemonade. Right.
Or lemonade.
So, is the situation now? Are we safe?
Yes, the security services performed their duties without hesitation. And I would like to assure the public that although there have been some injuries, there were no civilian deaths here this evening.
Oh, that's good news about the Sorry, did you say no deaths?
That's right. No civilian deaths.
Oh?
Just the 4 disrupt terrorists curtailed by law enforcement who were, as always, so cohesive. If I may, I have a message for your viewers.
Of course, the camera.
That's getting closer.
Speak there, on the camera there.
Stay at home tonight. Do not become another casualty of war. Disrupt have had their moment.
Damn.
But, as the dear departed Peter Clements once famously said, it ends today.
Damn.
Thank you, Prime Minister, for those strong words of strength. Back to the studio. Megan, now in the studio with Megan Wolf now.
Patrick Bannon there, bravely reporting from the front line of tonight's horrifying bombing. Maybe you need to get checked out, Patrick. Well, that brings us to the end of tonight's before we go, one final thought. Throughout the programme tonight, we've been receiving reports of disrupt activities throughout the territories. Through a series of coordinated attacks, these terrorists are attempting to undermine Advance's vital work. However, sources at team headquarters have told us that this acid revolution was not only predicted, but allowed to happen. Our government have lured Disrupt out from the shadows, and they are not the overwhelming force they would have you believe. The military have been actioned, and, well, it's pretty scary out there tonight, so stay at home and stay with Channel 1, because the team has assured this programme that the turbulence will soon be over, and we can once again focus our minds on
it's like right outside.
Equality, fairness, and resources for all. Let's make tomorrow. And we're out. I think I threw up a bit in my mouth just then.
God, lead into the roof. Set up the rocket launcher. Let's silence the monster. Look out the window, Alex. Where's the tower? The wonder of a city. They wouldn't dare for a sound come over that launcher. That's too long. That's too long. Advisor! Take cover.
The hell? The hell? Hey, we still got an A on the broadcast, though. Advanced like us, okay. Okay, we're good. Let's continue.